Welcome, everybody. Qualifying underway for the ARCS St. Louis 150 here at Gateway Motorsports Park Worldwide Technology Raceway, Madison, Illinois, just across the river from the Gateway Arch and the greater St. Louis metropolitan area. I'm Carmen Sienna. Alongside me, as always, Kevin Young. Kevin, it's Gateway Motorsports Park. It's a track. There's a lot of history in stock car racing. Just not so much in Cup Series. What are we looking at here today?
Well, you're looking at this oddly shaped four-corner oval here, where it's going to be about long straights, kind of similar to Martinsville in degree. We're going to have to get on the brakes to get the car woed down to a comfortable speed, then try to pinch the apex and get a good run off here. So it's all going to be about smooth entry and smooth exits, and make sure you don't get the car loose under braking to try to get the car woed down in the corners. But other than that, you're going to look for some nice, good racing, some side-by-side action, some corners. It's going to be a nice, fun day as qualifying is about to finish up here. Actually, it just did. So, yeah, we're going to be underway with the heat shortly.
Still a little bit of time left.
Yeah, not 5 minutes, it's 10 minutes. My clock was off. So we still have about 4 minutes, so my mistake. Some drivers actually are on laps.
One of them being Brandon Fetterplace, whose first lap put him second on the board. 34, got a couple new faces here. Even more so than what we had.
And his teammate, speaking of new faces, Jeff Marshall just jumps off to the top of the board there. So it's going to have to be a good lap here from Featherplace on the second run. He's just not going to get it. A little loose off exit, and he's going to have to go through the duels to try to keep his third position.
Edward Marshall won last night in the OAP Supersport Series, the IROC type series, running the 2013 Gen 6 cars. Edward Marshall trying to sweep a weekend in a way. Won at Daytona, trying to win here at Gateway as well. He's on the front row. He's on provisional pole. And it looks like it may stay that way.
Yep. Looking at the boards, no driver is got a second lap in them at the moment. Only Austin Pinnell and Alfred's George. And Pinnell has taken it behind the wall for second lap. He's not going to take it. So it's Alfred's George, the only driver who is currently going to start a warm-up lap here. So right now, that confirms that Edward Marshall is going to be locked in the front row. Now the question is, will it be Joshua Gaiman joining him or Alfred's George? We'll find out in 2 laps' time.
Yeah, Edward Marshall quickly arriving on the scene here as far as ABN fans are concerned, from not even being known in really much of the ARC circle to being a front-running commodity. Line Power has stacked the deck a little bit here for the middle portion of this season. Yeah,
that was a good pickup. And Line Power was definitely a situation where you looked at them and they needed kind of a jump in the arm for the second half of the season. And they still kind of do, because if you look at the team points, it's Sunday Monday Racing at the top at 714. Then you got Bandit Racing about 30-ish, 33 behind. And then B-Tron still within 100 of Sunday Monday Racing. And then Line Power, right now, you could argue the best of the rest, about 200 back of Sunday Monday Racing. So they're going to need a kind of a good second half stretch here for the last third to kind of get back in the constructors fight. And right now, Marshall was a great pickup because he's shown some strong performances in the All-Star race, his first points paying place at Charlotte last week, and now at Gateway, he's definitely looking like a hot commodity. And with Featherplace second in the points, Boss Tom Sears usually good for top 5, top 10 runs and even contention for wins. And Emma Kruger, with this being a very heavy road course schedule in the second half, could definitely be a threat. Those tracks, Line Power is looking to eat up here in this second third of the standings. Speaking of drivers putting down times, Alfred George just finished up his second run, and that's going to be P22 for him in the number 22 machine. So front row is going to be Edward Marshall and Joshua Gaiman.
Absolutely. Obviously, we watched that full run by Alfred George. To no avail for him. He'll start at the back of the second heat of the race. For those new to ARCS A Square Cup Series competition, qualifying determines the front row, positions 1 and 2. Then we have 2 qualifying heats. Think the Daytona duels, but for every race. So heat 1 determines the inside lane for the main event, while the outside lane is determined by heat race number 2.
Correct. So every driver that qualified with a odd number is going to be in Heat 1, and every driver that qualified with a even number is going to be in Heat 2. And speaking of this first heat, we'll take a quick look at the starting grid here, and you got Brandon Featherplace and Toby Estes locking out the front row here, with Tom Sears and Bren Roberts in row 2, David Wright and Matthew Leiter in row number 3, Austin Purnell and Matthew Kent, row number 4, Tommy Withers and James Kerr, row 5, and Cody Riggs rounding it out in the 11th position here for heat number 1.
Gonna be an interesting race here. Last time we were here, it was the HTL Cup Series, and it was a very interesting event for that HTL Cup Series. This is the second time ARCS has been here for the A Square Cup Series. So we'll see how they perform here tonight. Everyone going to get some laps in, though, here in these heats to kind of dial things in.
And it should be worth noting as well, Matthew Kent filling in the number 2 machine here. He's usually the driver. You usually see him doing race control for the ARCS, and especially on A Squared Sunday nights. But now he's filling in the number 2 for Donald Ray. So
yeah, Donald Ray has stepped away from racing in the A Squared Cup Series, so at least for the next 11 races, Matthew Kent is in that 2 car.
All right.
So that's the interesting development in this sort of event. You see Matthew Kent there in the number 2 machine. A very bare bones, very last minute deal put together for Matthew Kent. Podium finisher in the Saturday Night Showdown series.
Yeah, we got 2 different schemes on our trading paints. You got a white and black, a white and red machine. I got a little bit of a different one on my perspective, which I don't know if that is not entitled, but intended or not. But 2 different paint schemes at the very least.
It's one of those things we're going to find out here as everything gets ready to go for this first heat.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be on Featherplace, Crow Featherplace. One of the few drivers in the top half of the standings without a win. Going to look for a good showing here, at least in the heat, try to keep himself on the front row. So Paceker going to take the left, and it's going to be 10 laps here. Green flag is out. And away we go. Good launch by the inside there with Brandon Featherplace. Great launch, going to come on high and block off, and Sears going to try to follow his teammate on through.
Estes gets clear. Charlotte's race winner from last week, looking to go back-to-back here in the A Square Cup Series. He's had a phenomenal week. 1 on Sunday, 3rd on Wednesday, 2nd last night.
Mm-hmm. Still looking for a crucial win here in the A Square Cup Series. Right now he's doing the way. Toby Estes following suit. Got the monkey off his back last week with a win. Mm-hmm. Trying to make it back-to-back here. Obviously, it's still the heats, but obviously you want a good start. But there goes Tom Sears way off into the distance. Got loose off the corner. And he did not hit the wall, luckily. No damage, as far as I can tell. But he's going to lose all the spots. And with no cautions in these heats, right now that is not looking good for that 14 for a good starting position.
Yeah, that new sponsorship Elm on the side of that number 14. But he'll have to come from the back of the field now to get a worthwhile result with that new sponsor on board.
That's something tricky about these stop cars, especially walling them down, is unlike other cars we've seen go around Gateway, including the Champ Car machinery. And other things, Toby Estes also just gets a little kick. The problem is, if you get the power too early, this thing has, even though it's like a tank, it doesn't have the downforce of like a strong downforce machine, and it can kick out on it if you're not careful. And you see it at Martinsville, Pocono, other tracks where drivers just get a bit too greedy on the throttle and end up paying for it with the car getting a little bit loose. So hopefully that's the only time we'll see that, but I don't think that will be the case. As we've hit 7 to go, I'm looking for the field. Drivers are just kind of running their own little lines right now, trying to get used to this track.
Featherplace has almost 6/10 over Toby Estes. Bren Roberts sitting in 3rd place at the moment. Then David Wright and Matthew Kent top 5.
Mm-hmm.
You see Matthew Kent running. There's the updated scheme for Matthew Kent.
There you go. That's what I'm
running
saying.
alongside Austin Purnell there.
Speaking of updated paint schemes, you can see the 83 as well. Matthew Leiter running a Trevor Project Pride flag scheme, a little bit different than he's run in previous weeks for month of June, most likely. So new paint schemes for new faces here. Austin Purnell, obviously in the same 32 red, yellow, black acid racing machine car, just trying to hold on to P5 here at the moment.
Easier said than done here at Gateway.
Mm-hmm.
And as you alluded to a little bit before, like, this is a tricky track for these stock cars. Obviously, this is a track that was really kind of made its way to fame in the open wheel machinery. Trucks, Grand National cars have raced here, but it wasn't until last year that Cup Series cars started racing here, and it has been a completely different level of a challenge. But drivers typically enjoy those challenges. Car sticks out a little bit, gets a little loose. Drivers prefer having a handful to have to control and power through. So it kind of leans into some of those drivers' strengths as Feather Place comes to 4 to go. Looking really comfortable right now ahead of Toby Estes, who has seemed to have gotten the grips of it. Had that one little slip up, but has stayed relatively close to that 34 throughout this heat.
Yep, it's kind of these heats, if you do not qualify on the front row, it's a good learning experience to figure out what you can and can't do with the car and when to put the power down. So Toby taking this kind of knowledge here, using it, even though he may not be able to catch Feather Place, obviously 4 laps to go, it is all certainly possible still. But at the moment, kind of getting used to the throttle here and when to put it down and be more comfortable when push comes to shove for the main race. That ends up paying the most points. As we've hit 3 to go, only 1 car off the track at the moment. That is Tommy Withers, who had a slight little issue hitting the wall hard, and he will finish P11 in this heat. So not the race Tommy Withers wants for his heat race, but still got the main race to go for him. But right now, it's the Brandon Featherplace show. Got the good launch off the line and is smoothly sailing away, which is something you don't usually see in these heats. Usually the pole sitter sometimes struggles to keep his front row, his front starting position in the duel.
It kind of speaks to how well Brandon Featherplace has been, though. He entered the night just a little bit behind Tommy Reynolds, the championship leader, in the point standing. So Featherplace has a lot of consistency. Probably one of the most consistent drivers in the field right now. He's no slouch. He is a phenomenal driver. He's been largely the backbone for line power this season so far. Mm-hmm. Everyone else has had their shining moments, like Kruger and Sears, and obviously we're waiting to see how Edward Marshall does over these next 12 races. But Featherplace has been there week in, week out. He's been the top 5 car. That blue and yellow, number 34, has been a consistent presence in these events.
Yeah,
and it shows.
He's that consistent driver every team needs. He may not be winning every race, but he's up there in the top 5 usually most nights, getting you good points. And as he comes off this last row, he'll at least ensure a top 5 starting spot, P3 to be exact. Brandon Featherplace will win Heat 1 as they're getting racing down the line. Robert's going to hold on for 4th. As David Wright had a slight incident, and he will finish 6th, loose off the last corner, trying to get all he can get. But your heat's going to finish up with Featherplace, Estes, Roberts, your top 3. And now that will lead us smoothly on to Heat 2, with a starting grid looking like this. Seth Wansing and Tommy Reynolds make up the first row, with Cody Pennell and Emma Kruger in row number 2, Mike LaJoy and Briley Wright in row 3, Kevin Feemster and Jeremy Breo in row 4, and Ryan Pennell and Alfred George, both presidential racing machines, blocking out the front row here. Blocking out the back row in row number 5.
Again, as it was before, it is now. It'll be a 10-lap heat to get everything underway here.
Mm-hmm.
Seth Wansing once again in that Jeff Gordon DuPont throwback.
Yep, you usually see him in a Chase Elliott-inspired scheme, but this time bringing it back to the Jeff Gordon throwback for 2311 Simware and Midwest Barbecue. Looking to have a good week this time, as the past couple weeks have been plagued by internet issues. Looking to at least finish this race, at the very least, also trying to get a win for it. And Tommy Reynolds, looking to keep off his winning ways, was not able to be here for Charlotte. looking to get another win to start the second third of the season. Well, not start, but definitely start the early parts of the second third of the season off with a bang.
Keep an eye on some really good cars up at the front of this duel. Cody Pennell, the 50, that battling car looking really nice, sitting in the inside of row 2. Emma Kruger sitting in row 2 as well on the outside. Has experience here at Gateway, but not in these cars. See if that will work to Kruger's advantage or not. And then you obviously have row 3 of Mike LaJoy and Briley Wright. Going to be a very interesting start here. Kevin Feemster will not take the start. He will be in pit lane. He'll have a pit lane start here for this heat. But for Wanting and Reynolds, the battle begins here at Gateway. Green flag is in the air, and heat race number 2 is underway.
Worth noting, unlike the previous start, Fireplace did not. Fireplace got a good jump there. Wanting did not, and he's going to fall in the clutches here of the 7 and possibly even the 70.
Kruger knows how to make that outside line work through 1 and 2. Wanting can't get clear, but a little bit further back. Irish George slides out of turn 2. Kruger is the outside lane. Kruger way too high up.
Yep. Misjudged the braking point there and couldn't get the car to rotate in time. And now she is going to be under pressure. 3 wide, falling to the back. Luckily, no wall tap, but that is not what that 7 machine wanted to happen. Now going the wrong way quickly. Going to try to make some moves here to get back up to the front half here. But right there, you can see a battle for third. Cody Pennell and Briley Wright blinking a bit. Hope he gets that stabilized. Oh, even the damage model's trying to keep up with it. But Cody Pennell going to slot in the third, and Wright going to fall down the fourth.
Cody Pennell running part-time in the number 50 machine.
Yep.
Briley Wright got really loose there. Got really loose. Now falls to Jeremy Breo.
Breo, name we haven't seen in the past couple of weeks here. He's back as well, and he's on the attack, followed by Mike LaJoy, a new face, taking over that 88 for Black Acid Racing. But Kruger, doors open. She's going to take it and slot on in. So 70 up a couple spots already from that opening lap mistake, but obviously not where she wants to be in that 70 at the moment.
Ryan Pennell running a scheme that Ryan Blaney used to win at Charlotte last week. Hoping to bring him some good fortunes as well. He finished 5th at Charlotte last week, so good omen.
Honestly, even though that scheme is camo, every time I look at it, I think me and a few friends were talking about it, it feels like something Ross Chastain should be driving in real life with the watermelon colors instead of Ryan Blaney. But Ryan Pennell going to try to get the good luck from the Coke 600 for the 12 as he is looking to make a move on the 70 here for 5th top 5 position here.
All right, but now it's been a lot more consistent this year. We've talked about it on and off this season, just how much more competitive he's been, not having to deal with all the technical issues as Briley Wright's tagged the wall hard at turn 4.
He is struggling at the moment. And we'll cut back up here as the battle has been kind of closing down here between the top 2. Seth Wanting has fallen to the clutches of the 50. Cody Pennell. Honestly, in the first third of the season, you could say Aiden Norman was probably the best part-time driver out of all the teams. Cody Pennell was probably the second best part-time driver, and he was awarded with a full-time seat for his efforts. He's looking to repay that faith here as he's trying to challenge that 9 to get a position starting in P6 instead of P8.
Wanzi currently sitting in second ahead of Cody Pennell. A little bit further back, it's a huge battle. Breo, Kruger, Pennell, and LaJoy all in this mix.
That Square Enix car is under pressure here. Breo just trying to hang on here, get to the bell. But it's kind of hard when you got a bunch of hungry wildebeest behind, ready to strike when there's an opening. But that's why Breo is their defending champion. He knows how to hang on these moments, and right now he's doing that job quite well. But with 4 to go, it's still going to be a bit of a tough ask, especially with the hungry 70 and the hungry 12 behind.
Yeah, Breo's in a very interesting spot. He can be pretty relaxed here. He won at Daytona. He's not won as many races as people would have expected of him. He was one of the winningest drivers last season. But that honor's been taken pretty firmly by Tommy Reynolds so far this year. very interesting seeing how different this season has been for the 74 of Breo after these first few races.
Even then, he's still got the second most wins of the calendar with 2 wins to his name. So at the very least, even though it's maybe been a bit of a season, a bit of a hangover per the Gresham not being the most winningest driver, it's kind of a hard performance to follow up. And still 2 wins is nothing to slash at in that 74, but I feel like when playoffs roll around, he may light it back up here. But a driver that's looking for that form, we just see a car spinning into the grass.
That's Emma Kruger.
Mm-hmm. With 2 to go here, Reynolds still holding strong in that white number 7. Just trying to bring it home here to ensure a starting P4.
Reynolds, the championship leader, wanting to become world champion in ARCS. A lot of accolades under the belt of the number 7, 2021 Arrowhead 500 winner. 4 race wins already this season, 5 total. Just an A squared alone. On the last lap. Blondie closed the gap a lot as Reynolds got loose out of 2.
Slight mistake there. He's going to have to nail these next couple corners to ensure that one more mistake, he could fall into the clutches.
Out of 4, he's going to have to keep it smooth. Keep it planted. Tommy Reynolds will start P4 in the St. Louis 150.
Going to be followed suit by Wanzing, Pinnell, Breo, Ryan Pinnell, Mike LaJoy, Briley Wright, Kevin Feemster, and Emma Kruger, and Alfred George. That will be your top 10, and that's how they'll line up on the outside. And now we're going to get ready for some warm-up here before we get to the main race. And we're still just waiting for Emma Kruger here to come around the last corner, so... And there we'll go.
Everyone's got 5 minutes to warm up. So while we're here during this little intermediary period, we appreciate everyone tuning in and watching us here on a Sunday evening. Busy summer months coming ahead. It's Pride Month for most people. It's just another month as part of ABN's season. We have a lot of things planned over the next couple weeks. Appreciate everyone spending your time with us. Whether you're watching us live on Twitch, watching us on demand on YouTube, following us on Twitter, part of our Discord community, we thank you so much. This week, it's going to be a busy one. The HTL season finale tomorrow night at Fontana Auto Club Speedway. 4 drivers battling for a championship. Guaranteed new champion in HTL. That's tomorrow night. Tuesday night, it's Formula Atlantic from right here at Gateway. So we get to go from Midwest to California, back to the Midwest. And then back to the Midwest. ABN MLX Cup Series. Me and you, Kevin, will both be at Auto Club Speedway for race 4 of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Another street course race Thursday, the ABN Champ Car World Series from Chicago. And then it's the Twiggy iRacing Series on Friday before we round out and get ready for another weekend of racing. Next week is where things get a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of cool things going on. It's ABN Pride Week. Everything happening at Kentucky, the Pride 200, the Pride 300. Cash prizes on the line for those events. Going to be some jam-packed action. This is the 3rd week of June from the 18th to the 24th.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing some drivers put times on the board. Kruger currently fastest, but these times will not be representative of pace going into the race itself. Going to be a lot of work to do for a lot of drivers getting ready for this.
Yep, you are 100% correct. This is also good chances. I know Rice Troll loves to say, among other things, there's a good chance to practice pit road entry and exit because of how it's got a little bit of a warm-up road, a little access road. It's really kind of practice, make sure the car is planted through that access road, especially on cold tires. It could be a little bit slippery. And for all other drivers, they use this as an opportunity to get a last second drink, maybe use the bathroom, make sure the wheel's set up, whatever. As you can see Kruger right now practicing that pit road entry just to make sure you don't overcook it and send it in the grass.
Looking at Matthew Leiter right now on the screen. Car number 83. Setting a lap time here. 11 drivers have set lap times so far.
It's over 50 seconds to go here in warm-up. Time is ticking away. Warm-up goes quicker than you think, especially when it's 5 minutes. As Carmen's doing a quick little SDK reset, we'll let you know there's about 20 seconds left here on the clock. And that is going to be it for warm-up here. Kruger top of the charts in warm-up.
Alrighty. So here we go. Worldwide Technology Raceway, formerly known as Gateway Motorsports Park, located in Madison, Illinois, just across the river from St. Louis. 80 degrees Fahrenheit. The air temp, track temp, 106 degrees. It's a slick track tonight. 1.25 mile the lap length here around Worldwide Technology Raceway. Very little wind. Makes it a little bit more stable, a little bit friendlier for the drivers as they deal with what will be very scorching hot and blistering tires this evening. Looking at the starting order, it's Edward Marshall and Josh Gaiman at the front of the field. Edward Marshall, first pole position in the series, looking for his first win as part of Line Power Motorsport. Brandon Fetterplay, Tommy Reynolds in row number 2. Then Toby Estes and Seth Wanzing in row 3. Row 4, Bryn Roberts and Cody Pennell, Sunday Money Racing, all over the top 10. Just not in the top 5. Austin Purnell and Jeremy Breo round out the top 10 in row 5. Then it's Matthew Leiter and Ryan Pennell in row number 6. And as we look further on down the order, David Wright and Mike LaJoy, row 7. Matthew Kent and Bradley Wright in row number 8. Row 9, Cody Riggs and Kevin Feemster with Tom Sears and Emma Kruger making an all-line power row 10. Row 11, James Kerr and Edwards George with Tommy Withers running out the field of 23 for tonight's event. As we get ready to go here at Gateway.
Should be worth noting, stage breakdown is lap 30, lap 60, 2 stages. Lap 30, first stage break, lap 60, second stage break, and then all the way to finish the 120. So nice, even little breakdown there. 230s and a 60 to finish. And it's going to be quite fun to watch.
Everyone chomping at the bit, wanting to get started here. 120 laps, 150 miles. Here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Marshall, Gaiman, Reynolds, Fetterplace at the front of the field. And we're underway. We're racing in St. Louis. Already a little bit of contact there between the 16 and the 61. And it gives Marshall the advantage. He'll get clear. Reynolds will try to follow suit.
Game not gonna be too probably thrilled with that. It's lap 1. Don't want to be kind of door to Ray that quickly.
There you
but
go.
Reynolds.
If he's not gonna be happy about Edward Marshall, he definitely will be happy with Tommy Reynolds.
He just got bodied twice.
And 1 lap to go from 2nd to 5th. Side by side for 3rd, it's Fetter Place and Wanzing.
Gaiman's list is going to be a mile long, possibly at the race if this keeps holding.
Yeah.
And right now, he's also going to fall under pressure here with Breowens for 6th position. Luckily, they are teammates, so maybe a bit of a more respect moment. We'll stay here battling for the lead as Reynolds is going to try to find a way around that 16 if he can.
A little bit further back.
So Toby has to go a little high there.
Even further back there. Brian Pinnell defending from David Wright and Matthew Leiter, or trying to. David Wright's going to get pretty well clear, though.
Mm-hmm. And you can see the little go-kart track in the inside of Gateway there from that shot. From this wide shot, a bit hard to tell unless you got the binoculars, but Edward Marshall still leads the way.
This is right above our commentary booth here.
Yeah.
Everything located here in turns 1 and 2. Good old panoramic shot. It's
Reynolds got loose right into Feather Place in front of the field.
Everyone scrambles.
Everyone will get around. A couple cars have to go in the grass. You saw the 21 of Feemster. I think coming in happened with Emma Kruger as well. But evasive action there. Just to avoid a wreck. Some cars had to mow the grass to get it done.
Yeah, we saw Reynolds here just get a little loose out of the corner. He drifts up wide and tags Edward Marshall. Marshall just kind of holding his line there. Reynolds just washing out. Tags Fetter Place. Tags Wanzing.
And you can just see in the back there, too, Feemster kind of gets a little shunt there from Emma Kruger. Trying to report what happened there. And, yeah,
ooh,
a little shunt.
Feemster did not get so lucky on that. You see him tag the inside wall.
Yeah, and you'll see here. A little checkup. Kruger kind of got in the brakes a little late. And even Roberts hit the wall, too. 2 big shunts there for both the 1 and the 21.
First caution of the night on lap 5.
Mm-hmm. Now, it should be worth one of these cars do have a fast repair in their disposal if they so choose to use it. And you're going to see few drivers coming in this time by some of the cars involved in the incident. Brandon Feather Place, Joshua Gaiman, Bren Roberts, all in, along with Withers, George, and Tommy Reynolds, also obviously the main culprit in the incident. So we see good chunk of those drivers ended up getting light damage, so I don't think they'll have to burn the fast repair. They could probably get away with fixing it up and quickly getting out. But it'll be a time to tell, see how it's checked. But we know Feather Place is not electing to use the fast repair along with Brent Roberts with their long pit time windows here. So we're coming up to the choose here, if I'm not mistaken. And remember, another thing about A Square competition you don't see in other leagues, there is a choose rule in effect. And you're going to see the choose here right now. Marshall going to go high. S is going to go low. Wanzing waits a little bit late there and going to go low as well for him as well. So a mixture of highs and lows there. As we wait for it all kind of circle out here, we have, if I can pull up my right screen here, Edward Marshall and Seth Wansing making up row number 1, Breo and Estes row number 2, with Austin Pinnell, Cody Pinnell row 3, Briley Wright and David Wright row 4, and Matthew LaJoy and Mike LaJoy row 5. Very interesting because we got row 3 with 2 Pinnells, row 4 with 2 Wrights, and row 5 with the same initials of M and L. Commentator's dream right there.
Edward Marshall doing a good job so far. Gonna see if he can survive the pressure. He took the outside lane, which I think was a smart choice. We'll see how it plays off here in this first restart.
Only thing I worry about is we saw what happened with Gaiman. May not be the smart choice near the end of the race, but now it could work. We'll have to wait and see. Green flag is out. Away we go. The 9 didn't get as going. Even with the slight launch the 16 gives, the 9 gets a little bit of wheel spin and will hold on the second, but will definitely be under pressure here from a handful of cars.
Brea was trying to make a lunge there for second place. We'll have to stay in third at the moment. Estes in fourth. Austin Purnell in fifth.
Breo.
Wright and Cody Pinnell going at it for top 5.
A lot of battles on track here. You see those on restarts. Sears up the groove a tad, but Breo gonna have the inside line here. Gonna try to get the runoff. Gets a little loose, and that just shows how hard it is sometimes to get the power down. And now, instead of fighting for second, he's gonna try to hang on to a top 5.
Obviously not where he wanted to be in this part of the race. Didn't want to have to give up that second place so early.
Ooh, Austin Pinnell gets a little loose there, and we see a car almost spin in the back. I think it's a 70, a Kruger.
That's a 3 Cody Riggs.
It was a black machine, but it was the wrong black machine.
It's the black and gold, not the black and purple.
We got a battle here for possible lead here. Seth Wansing looks like he's going to get a run here going into 1. Fender to corner panel. How aggressive does he want to be in that 9? Still doesn't have... top 2 right now do not have a win so far this season. Even though we're only in stage 1. You want to set the tone early.
Keep an eye on Austin Purnell getting up and trying to stay clear in that top 4. He's like a cork in the bottle. See all the cars behind him right now as Breo and Cody Pinnell battle it out for 5th. Tom Sears has had an issue. He's on his own.
You have 1 car. He's got it refired. Spun around, but definitely been a race to configure it so far for that 14. At number 7th, heating up as both Wrights are fighting hard here. Riley just ended up getting the pass done, but David gonna answer back here. Side by side. Ooh, 42 goes up track just a bit here, trying to squeeze the 8. And then you can see another battle. Gaiman in the Pride Flag machine. And the Pride Flag machine of Matthew is gonna hit the wall and send Ryan Pinnell way off into the grass. He'll keep it off the inside wall, but a lot of time lost for that 12, just trying to avoid a closing door.
No love lost between Leiter and Josh Gaiman. And Leiter ended up worse for wear there.
Yep, he is coming down the pit lane this time by big couple licks there. Just hoping to try to get at least stay 1 down here at the moment, but it's probably going to be 2. We're still not even halfway yet through stage number 1. Toby Estes leads the way. I was able to take it away from Edward Marshall in the 16. Now Austin Pinnell knocking on the door here to maybe put the 16 down the 3rd.
Yeah, Estes made it a 2-for-1 combo as Marshall and Wansing were battling it out. Tire conservation a little important here.
Yep. We say that kind of week in and week out, especially with the past couple rounds. They've bumped up the tire wear, at least I should say the fuel consumption down a bit. So fuel tanks aren't as extended. So you do have to kind of conserve your tire for these long runs, because before, as long as you were kind of smart with it, you could be able to limp it home the end of stage 1. But now there's at least one mandatory pit stop. Well, not mandatory, but a likely pit stop between each stage. And you don't want to be going the wrong way around when that pit stop occurs.
Battle for top 5, very intense still between Breo, Wanzing, Cody Pennell, and Bradley Wright. Everyone's settling into a rhythm here for really the bread and butter of stage 1. As Cody Pennell, as I say that, got a little loose in 1 and 2, and will lose a spot for his efforts. And there's Josh Gaiman, who's going to take a look at it for 7th place.
Sees an opportunity to strike here, and we know that 61 is fast. He qualified front row, so he knows he can get that car around, and we know he's also good at saving his tires. He's a great late run warrior, and he's showing it right now, just trying to carve his way up for the field like a hot knife through butter.
Gaiman pit on lap 5, but was a fuel-only stop, so...
And there you can see right there, was able to get a good lunge there, but Pennell's got the inside. Gaiman going to try to get a good run here off exit. One thing that maybe helps or dishelps is that there's basically the cars fighting for 6th and 5th respectively, side by side as well. Gaiman will take the advantage, and Breo will hang on to 5th position. And now Bradley Wright's kind of in a bit of a pickle here. He's got to have to make a move quick on that 74, or else the 61's going to kind of swallow him here. Oh, well, if he gets squirrely like that, it may be a bit harder for that 61 to get the job done. But now he's going to fake to the inside and take a run.
Gaiman, one of the drivers that were at the HTL race here not too long ago. Him and Seth Wanzing and Tommy Withers, all 3 were in that HTL event, which went completely opposite of how this race has gone so far.
And there's a problem too right there. You can show if a driver makes a pass on you, if he can't complete it quick enough, you could fall into the clutches like Bradley Wright did with Cody Pennell. Now Cody Pennell gets around, so a 2-for-1 loss there in the 8's case, where the door was left open just enough with the pass the 61, as now the 61 gets around the 74. But now the 74 is able to close it down for Cody Pennell. Obviously was not close enough to get near him, or could follow suit. But now the 74 are going to answer back here for the move to the inside. But you can see just not going to get the runoff he needs. And the 2 B-Tron racing machines are going to have a friendly fight, but one's going to tip the hat to the other. But now Cody Pennell going to try to follow suit here and pass the 74.
Oh, watch out, watch out, watch out. Breo went up the track. Cody Pennell saw it and went up as well. But that could have been a disaster.
Yep, 100%. Brad just came on radio saying tires are shot. So he's definitely struggling here, and we still got 9 laps to go for a stage end. So help is not coming very soon. He's just going to have to try to hang on here. There's a reasonable chance that 74 could fall outside the top 10 here and lose out on stage points that he doesn't really need per se, but it could help him in some regard. As we watch these battles down the field, you're not missing anything up front. Toby Estes has kept the gap between him and Edward Marshall stable, with Ospinel in second and Ospinel in third, and Seth Wanzing in fourth. But Wanzing now falling into the clutch of 61. Gaiman could easily get another spot or even 2 before this end. But here we're watching a battle between Kruger, Breo, and Mike LaJoy. As Breo is definitely struggling with that tire where he's already lost a couple spots, and now he could lose another one.
He's outside the top 10. Only car off the lead lap at the time being is Tom Sears. Kruger just tagged the wall in 1 and 2.
Actually, it's 2 drivers, both Tom Sears and Matthew Leiter.
Oh, that's correct. Yeah,
Yep.
Sears and Leiter.
Mm-hmm.
There's good old Tom Sears.
Actually,
Yeah, Tom Sears still on the lead lap a little bit.
yeah, all the way around.
Not far away, but Leiter's the only one to lap down.
Yeah.
There he is.
Yeah, so stage break coming near an end here. Sears should be all right to stay on the lead lap. Leiter hoping that no other car has a mistake, because if they go 1 down, he'll be fighting them for the lucky dog in question.
Estes leads the way. It was coming to 6 laps to go. Edward Marshall sitting in the 2nd position. Then Austin Purnell in 3rd. Josh Gaiman in 4th. Cody Purnell sitting in the top 5 at the moment. As Seth Wansing's dropped out from 4th to 6th.
Ooh, Matthew Kent had a big mistake here in the corner. That's going to be a caution. Coming off 3 and 4 here, Kent's got a lot of damage in that Posari sweat machine. I wonder if possibly that was a checkup moment. Looks like it may have been Feemster and maybe Riggs. Maybe Breo. Regardless, this won't be the end of the stage, so we're not done with stage. There you can see Breo. Yeah, so it was Breo and Feemster, it looks like.
And Kruger. Let's see if Kruger... Yeah, oh, Kruger got a piece of it a little bit.
Breo couldn't save it, and then Riggs able to avoid it. But then what happens here at the end? Because that 2 gets a lot of damage here.
That's why.
Oh, that explains it. So at least the positive is this will allow Leiter to get his lap back. Now have all cars, at least at the moment, lacking the lead lap. But yeah, just shows similar to what happened for the first caution tonight. Similar incident with Reynolds having a slight mistake, couldn't save it. And now Breo on even older tires couldn't save his. And ended up wrong way around. A couple cars electing the pit here. Seth Wansing, Breo, Kent, and George. Alfred's George. Obviously, Kent and Breo pitting this damage. Wansing maybe pulling a bit of a strategy call here for going stage points to possibly be in lead position for main race for stage 2. Gee, never mind. Seth Wansing is still on pit lane here. If he doesn't get going, could go 1 down here. He's got some damage somewhere he had to fix, maybe a wall tap, but he'll come out along with 74 Breo, so neither driver will go 1 down. But regardless, we'll have choose next time by in lap 28, and we'll be going back to green on 29 for 2 laps.
It'll be a very interesting restart here.
Yep, we'll have to see how the choose goes. We saw Marshall elect to take the high groove last time by, and it did work out for him. Was Tobias is taking notes here? Will he elect to kind of jump that high groove? Will he maybe carve his own path and stay on the bottom like he did on the last restart? So up to choose here. Estes gonna go high. Marshall low. Austin Purnell gonna go high. 61 gonna go high. And Cody Purnell gonna gain a few spots here by going low. So out of the top 5, 3 cars went high, 2 cars went low. The car in 5th ends up gaining at least a spot or two here. So right now it's Estes and Marshall first row, Austin Pinnell and Cody Pinnell row number 2, Joshua Gaiman and Bradley Wright in row 3, David Wright and Brandon Fetterplace in row 4, and Mike LaJoy and Kevin Feemster will round out your first 5 rows here. 2 laps to the end of the stage.
Take a look from the ABN blimp. Let's get ready to go. Gonna end off stage 1 with a bang. 2-lap shootout for stage points for the top 10.
Yep. Some drivers could use these stage points. Definitely a good finish. Other drivers just looking for the fun of race. And pace car going to take the hard left into the pit lane. Green flag in the out. Edward Marshall gets a bad bump for Cody Pinnell, and that's going to end the stage. Multiple cars going to end up wrecking. Cody Pinnell gets him the big lick there. Just a bad bump to try to get the 16 going. And that's the end of the stage. So stage points will just kind of will end as cars pass here. Let's wait for... We're going to have to wait to see how all this plays out. A few drivers are going to get EOLs if they were involved in the incident, so they will not get stage points. But we know for a fact, Estes Gaiman will get stage points. That's guaranteed. After that, bit of an argument where everyone else goes. We'll take a look here on the replay.
And we'll look here at Cody Pinnell, as Kevin's going to keep an eye on the scanner, hear what everyone says here.
Yep.
I go on board with the 50 of Cody Pinnell. I don't think Cody Pinnell had much to do with that. I think Marshall spun it.
Maybe.
I think Marshall spun it and got loose there on that initial go. Because we're going to slow it down here a little bit.
It looks like they touched, but this replay will
No,
definitely
they touch, but
here.
Marshall's already spinning. Like, he's already spun the tires at this point. Because you see Estes go, and Marshall's already sideways by the time Cody gets to him.
Yeah, it's already starting to break a little bit, and then Cody kind of just gives him the shunt to kind of finish it off a little bit, and then that ping-ponged Austin Pinnell into Cody Pinnell. At that point, just trying to avoid the spinning 50 machine.
And that could have been a lot worse than it was. Everyone did a pretty good job otherwise avoiding that.
Really, the max damage there, you could say, is 16 Edward Marshall getting into Austin Pinnell, or Austin Pinnell setting it down. But Cody Pinnell did a loop, and I thought he was going to get T-boned somewhere, but he ends up basically getting avoided. So yeah, the biggest kind of damage there is probably the 32. After that, it's pretty all right, like minor fender damage for others that they could easily fit on the pit lane, pit stops here at the end of the stage.
Yeah, this little wheel spin, and then Cody Pinnell obviously got to him there right at the very end of that, but Marshall already broke traction, and when that happens, even the slightest of contact is going to send that car around.
Mm-hmm.
And if you believe in karma, karma was pretty immediate in that for Cody Pinnell.
So choose just happened there. Some drivers elected the pit on the last caution. Other drivers did not. But right now is Matthew Kent, Jeremy Brao. They pitted under the last stage, like the caution for the stage, and thus stayed out here. And they'll take out the front row. And it's gonna be Gaiman, Estes, row number 2, David Wright, and Mike LaJoy, row 3, Kruger, Featherplace, row 4, and Robertson Pinnell, Ryan Pinnell, that is, in row number 5. And that's your first 5 rows here. Start stage number 2.
So here we go. Start of stage number 2. It's Kent, Breo, Gaiman, Estes, Wright, LaJoy, Fetaplace, Kruger, Roberts, and Ryan Pinnell. Green flag in the air, and away we go. And Matthew Kent off and away.
Yep, good launch there for number 2. Breo, not as much. Gaiman just showing, even though it's not that much of a tire difference, kind of just showing it right there with the 61, as he'll be able to clear the 74. Well, almost clear yet. Hasn't got the job completely done. Now he'll get it done. So it's Kent, Gaiman, Breo, Estes, your first 4 here. And now Gaiman going to try to go to the point here. He wants that lead. Feels like he has a car that can do it. To the inside, and it's going to be the 61. That's probably going to... Actually, it's going to be a drag race for who leads this lap.
Gaiman's got it.
61 by a hair. Battle for the lead, battle for third. Breo going to try to make a move around the 2 there. Gets a little loose off exit. Trying not to run to the 2. Estes basically pushing the 2 down the straight here. Oh, 34 Featherplace makes a move on David Wright. He'll get it done. He kind of doored the 42 to get it done. Not going to make much friends doing that.
He didn't hit him. He rubbed him in Rubbin's Racing.
Yep.
Or something like that.
Something around those lines. But since David Wright lost 2 spots in the encounter, not going to be too thrilled.
Better place, making his way forward. Gets around Breo. Matthew Kent just up ahead. Estes on lap 30 tires. The 2 that are on lap 25 tires, Breo and Kent. Gonna pay for it a little bit here.
Mm-hmm. It's about holding your nerve here. Kent just trying to hang on. It's net gain, but the one thing I did know, I was trying to say before we went to restart here, is that they're going to be in quite trouble as the stage goes on. You saw Breo was already struggling to get to the end of 30 stages. Breo just, that's not going to help the tires make it, even if he wants to make it now. He was basically drifting through all that last corner there. He'll save it, but that is going to hurt tires that are already slightly older than the competitors around him. And now they even got more wear on him as he smoked the rears. So it's going to be hard to get to that. Even though you can make it to the end of the stage, per se, with those tires, you're going to be basically a sitting duck by the time we get to 60, and you'll be screaming for some freshes.
Almost a second between Estes and Gaiman. Gaiman at the front of the field. Estes sitting in second.
Yeah, Tobias wants to kind of get back. He was controlling the first stage here. Ball wants to lead stage 2 here. Well, yeah, get to the lead of stage 2, but right now, got to find a way to get around that 61, but still got to make up at least 8 attempts to do that. Ooh, we got a battle form between Roberts and Pinnell here, a little bit further down. Big train form behind David right here for 5th. As you can see, middle of the train here. Pinnell had a little poke there. There's Seth Wansing as well, along with Briley Wright. See, just kind of battles forming this little train forming up here. Wansing trying to make a move on Briley Wright in the 8th. That is for 11th position. And right now we're watching is the battle for 9th with 10th place Ryan Pinnell looking to maybe find a way around. Wansing cannot get the job done, and all basically line back up here. Now let's run to the top of this train here. David Wright. Kruger's been kind of poking and prodding for a few couple laps here. She thinks she can get around, but hasn't been able to get the run she needs to get the job done.
Remember what Tom Sears sitting in 7th place.
Sears gonna have an inside pock here in that ELM machine. There's the 88 of Mike LaJoy. Great run off the corner. It's a good example of what you got to do sometimes to get a run off. You got to be hard on the brakes, try to send it a little bit, and try to get the run off. There, the 88 couldn't do it. A little bit too far back, but we know he's willing to make that move at the very least. Now Sears going to make a run here on the 70. Team boss fighting teammate. And he should be able to get clear here at the moment. He's not going to have much slipstream draft help here going down the straight, though. But he should be able to clear just going into 1.
That Elm machine doing a really good job so far. Rebounding, was down in 22nd position most of stage 2. But most of stage 1, excuse me. But here in stage 2, sitting up in the top 10 pretty comfortably. Despite some of the damage on that left side. That Elm machine, number 14, looking really good.
You can see there just incidents of previous lap there. You saw the 70 kind of chop blocked 83, 88 a little bit. Now the 88 going to get a run here at the moment. But this time well clear. Now Bren Roberts here to join the fray. He thinks he's got a fast number 1 machine back in the usual black and white we see for Bren Roberts. So we're right on board with him here.
See how busy that mirror is for Roberts. Glancing back. That's Ryan Fennell right behind him and Seth Wansing behind him.
Yeah, right now, hearing from the rumor mill right now, the 2 is having a bit of a connection issue right now. He's blinking a little bit. Kind of in and out, in and out.
And you can
see right there. I keep trying to relay it to him. I don't know what the 2 is going to do here, but yeah, you can see he's barely in there, and that makes it hard for the 42 to make a pass, especially at a track like this. You don't know where he is, can't pass him. And that's going to, in turn, if they can't get done quickly, going to allow Feather Place, Estes, and Gaiman get around. Gap's already about 5 seconds. Yep, there he is, and there he goes. Well, regardless of that, it looks like Sears may try to capitalize on...
Yeah, Tom Sears trying to capitalize on the uncertainty here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like it's not going to get fixed here at the moment. He may have to take a drop back here. Like, you know it's bad when we can't even tell where he is. And then he'll now pull over here, way off in the grass. Oh!
That was not intentional. That was a mistake.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
And that is going to be race done, essentially, for Matthew Kent.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's full steam ahead for David Wright and company.
Breo just had a disconnection as well.
Oh, wow.
Very odd.
Breo's was a couple laps ago.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just kind of going through the relay system here. Kind of looking through because I'm hearing a lot of race chatter here. But we got to move for a second here as Feather Place is going to get around Estes. As Estes kind of just lets him go here. So we're coming close to the end of the stage here. 10 laps time. So getting reorganized here, I guess you could say. See the battle for second here. It looks like the lead car of Gaiman is going to catch some lap traffic here. He's going to catch the 23 of Tommy Withers. Tommy Withers. And that's about 2 seconds up the road here. And then you just got the big train from fourth on back. A little bit further down here, we got Kruger and Sears fighting for fifth. Top five here. Kruger's able to run into the corner. But there you can see, as we still stay on shot here with Feather Place, you can see just going to try to quickly get around that 23 of Withers. Trying to maybe reel down a 61 before the end of the stage. Sears falling into the clutch. Sears, he's falling out to the top five. Now under pressure from the 9. Seth Wanzing. Just see him basically staying on the quarter panel here. The whole corner there. Going to try to get the run here. Drive down hard on that Gordon machine. I think the 14 may have used up his stuff a little bit here. He's going to get 2 for 1s and get past. So Sears just trying to hang on. There's 10th position behind him in the 50 of Cody Pennell, and 11th, which would be no stage points, is currently in 11th position. That is the 50 of Cody Pennell's in 9th. 12 of Ryan Pennell's in 10th. You see in the distance of that green and red machine. And then 11th is Tommy Reynolds, who's just behind that in question. So Sears trying to make the end of the stage here and hang on to get some crucial stage points for that 14.
6 laps away from stage points for stage 2.
Ooh, yeah, car is definitely looking a little worse for wear.
Let's try and hang on to it. Still one of the biggest scanners locked up in turn 1.
Right front tire, you can just see the smoke, and that is going to allow him. Now he's going to be outside the stage points at the moment. He is fighting for the last stage point between him and Reynolds.
I think Reynolds has just done better at saving his tires. Sears pushing so hard. I don't think he's got much left on those Goodyears. Sitting now in 11th place with 5 to go in stage 2.
Mm-hmm. You can see Reynolds going to try to hang it around the outside there, 12. Cannot get the runoff he needs, though. And Pennell's going to jump back up here and cover off. A little bit further up, Wanzing and the 9 of the 9 of Seth Wanzing, the 42 of David Wright. They're fighting. They're side by side as the lap car, Tommy Withers, kind of checked up the field here. I see Wanzing gets around. There goes Kruger, and they're going to see David Wright, another driver maybe struggling. Wanzing just locked it up, though, and he's going to be under pressure from the 42 again. Wanzing was clear. Slight lockup similar to Sears. Now he's under pressure here. As you can just see these cars skating for some of them, just praying for the stage to end. '42 will hold on, at least in the short term. Reynolds was able to get around Pennell while we were watching that. Ryan Pennell down to 10th. Trying to hang on with Bren Roberts right behind him for 11th. Trying to get a stage point. And there goes Bren Roberts. A little mistake there by the 12. And that's going to allow the 1 to capitalize. And possibly will get the job done. He will. Now Ryan Pennell needs to find a way around the 1, the 7, or hope someone in that top 10 has a mistake where he can possibly get back in the top 10.
Coming to the white flag in the stage 2. Gaiman leads. And it's not by much. Feather Place trying to reel him in.
Yep. And then on the backstretch, stage ends once the leader takes the line. So you have to get, if you're right now in your move, you're going to have to make a move going desperately in the 3 if you want a stage point that bad. Meanwhile, the 83 lighter should stay on the lead lap here, which he'll be thankful for. But coming off the last stage, Feather Place could not get that done quick enough. Gaiman will win stage 2. Feather Place in 2nd. Estes in 3rd. Right in 4th. As caution, still. Actually, we got.
It's when 10th place crosses the line.
Because previously, race crews will call this as soon as the line hit, so that's why. But.
We're still on lap 60.
Yeah. So, Feather Place just passed Gaiman. So, premature call.
So, Feather Place will take the stage points here.
Just pull the Marty Reed, and that will end the stage. So that embarrassing moment over. It's going to be Feather Place, Gaiman, Estes Wright, Wanzing LaJoy, Kruger, Pinnell, Cody Pinnell, Tommy Reynolds, and Brandon Roberts rounding outside your top 10. And now I'm going to assume the whole field here is going to probably come on in when the pit lane opens to get some fresh tires and pack it up with some Sunoco fuel. So pit lane should open this time by. Lucky Dog is going to go to Tommy Withers, only car one down, still on the racing surface. So he will get his lap back. And coming to the final stage, we'll have 21 cars on the racing surface. And there's our leader coming in, 61 of Gaiman, 29 of Estes. Now it's up to the virtual crews. Want a game driver at least a spot? You're going to have a good pit time here and get the job done.
We got a good idea as to who's going to do what in pit lane here. We're looking at pit exit. This car roll on through.
Gonna race into the box here. We're gonna see who comes out first. Obviously, Edward Marshall coming to his box here as the pole sitter. Right, already out. It's gonna be a race. Looks like it's just gonna be Gaiman by a nose. Gaiman, Feather Place, Estes Wright. That's gonna be our first 4 out. Wanzing 5th, Roberts 6th, Kruger 7th. So Gaiman's virtual boys get the job, or females, whoever, pit crew members, get the job done. As pit time there was a 14.55 for Gaiman, a 14.98 for Estes. Not Estes, sorry, Feather Place. And that was enough to get that 61. The lead here and first choose at the choose cone coming up next time. Not this lap, but the next one by. Honestly, at the rate we're going, there is a chance that this race could be done before the NASCAR race is officially done at Gateway. They are currently under red flag conditions. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. We're going to come up the choose this time by here. Gaiman will have first choice. Feather play second. I feel like, from what we see in the trend so far, Gaiman's probably going to go high, Feather plays low, and then you're going to probably see Estes and Wright, I assume, line up behind 61. But maybe we'll see him go 1-2, 1-2 at the moment. Looks like Gaiman going to buck the trend here. Leaders are taking the inside, outside lane most of the time. They'll take the inside here. Just to wait for the choose to kind of finish up here. It is going to be Gaiman and Feather plays your front row here, with Wright and Estes in row 2, Bren Roberts and Seth Wansing row 3, Emma Kruger and Mike LaJoy row 4, and Cody Pennell and Kevin Feemster rounding out top 5, row number 5 here. So that's going to be your first 10 cars here. Interesting strat for Gaiman to take the low groove, but he must feel confident in that 61. So Pay's going to take the hard left into the pit lane here. And green flag is out, and the final stage, away we go. Joshua Gaiman gets a good launch there. Feather Place will hold on to second. And David Wright looking to try to take third away from Estes. Ooh, very deep there for the 42. He's not going to save it. He's going to cut through the grass, and he's going to end up looping it. David Wright tried to be the hero there. That's only going to be one car, though, but he almost ended up colliding with Feather Place and Estes. So both 34 and the 29 thanking their lucky stars. But Feather Place not going to let that do him. He won stage 2 here. You got stage 1 winner in third, stage 2 winner in second. And Joshua Gaiman won neither stage, currently leading the point of this field. Seth Wansing there going to try to make a move on the 29. Wansing, like Feather Place, hungry for a good finish here. Both drivers kind of need one, but cannot get the job done at the moment. Ooh, Cody Pennell just smacked the wall a little bit. Not going to affect the car too much. See, just in the background there, a battle for 5th position between Michael LaJoy and Bren Roberts. This Gaiman can need to keep a smooth, steady hand. We do know these drivers have one pit stop at least scheduled in this stage, if a caution doesn't happen before that.
Yeah, we've not hit green flag pit stops yet in this race.
Nope. Top 5 gets a little settled out here. As you can see, though, Feather Place close, but just not close enough to really do it. We do have a spin in the back, though. Edward Marshall around, and that's going to be the caution. You can just see the smoke there, as it will be our 5th caution of the night, 3rd one for an incident on track. As our pole sitter not having the end, so far not having a good end part of race here that he's probably looking for. We'll see if we can get a replay pulled up, but if not, kind of looking through to see who was on the incident list. Kevin Feemster was involved. Tommy Reynolds was involved. Cody Riggs also involved. Now we'll see the replay here. Thank you, Carmen. And you can just see here, Feemster kind of shuts up. Not Feemster. The 16 kind of goes up. 21 gives him a shunt. And a bunch of cars just trying to scurry around there. Tommy Reynolds gets a good shunt to the front nose. But yeah, a good example of an accident that looked bad on paper and could have been a lot worse. But at the end of the day, kind of the main victim there was the 16, the 21, the 7. Back to live action there. You can see pit stops occurring here. This shouldn't be enough to get to the finish, but it's going to allow these drivers a slight tire advantage over the cars ahead so they can go a little bit longer with more freshness than the cars that are staying out. So you got Reynolds, Edward Marshall, Tom Sears, David Wright, Briley Wright, Cody Riggs, and Alfred George all electing to come in. Tommy Withers is going to be your lucky dog. He is going to get his lap back. But 12th, 13th on up, all elected to stay out there. So from 1st to 13th, from Gaiman to Ryan Pinnell, with Tom Sears being the first car that pitted to come out in 14th. So we're going to have to choose next time by. Alphys George and Tommy Withers are going to come in this time by to kind of top off here. Again, neither driver can make it to the end at this point if my calculations are correct. Yeah, that would be longer than the stint necessary.
She's the first of those that pit. Down in 14th position, and they're going to come back in and probably top off here.
Yep. So they're going to top off here. Think they can get close is what they're thinking. Shoes is in effect this time by, so they will line up inside row on the back. We'll see the shoes up front here. Well, we'll get back to when we see the pit stops occur, but Gaiman goes high, Feather Place goes low. So we see them come in. We'll quickly run down the order. Gaiman and Feather Place in your first row. Estes and Wanzing in row number 2. LaJoy and Roberts row 3. Pinnell and Kruger row 4. And Feemster and Cody Pinnell row 5. So different strategies here. We'll see how it all plays out. But regardless, pace car lights are out. It's going to take the hard left here, and it's going to be on Joshua Gaiman's control. A green flag is out, and away we go. Good launch there by the 61. 29, not so much. He's going to be under pressure here for third. Ooh, big lock up there in the back. 7 has to take evasive action. Tommy Reynolds, you can see 50 Cody Pinnell getting split.
Oh,
We have to
watch
shove the
out!
Cody Riggs. Big into the wall, gonna come up the racing surface. They all avoid, but that is gonna be another caution.
That was a violent impact.
Yeah, big impact. And that's gonna shake up this regardless, it's gonna shake this up a lot here with strategy, but Cody Riggs, you see, just innocent bystander there. So Cody Riggs is going to obviously, with that thing limping, just going to try to get to the pit lane, fix it up. But obviously, we'll see here. I'm assuming we're going to see probably the field pit here as we're getting close to that window. At least some drivers may be like the pit, but it's not going to be the 61. But Seth Wanzing going to roll the dice here. He is going to elect to come in. Got Wanzing, Ospinel. I think that's Emma Kruger as well. We'll see as they cross the line here. Actually, Emma Kruger did stay out, so my mistake. Yeah, it's Bren Roberts. But yeah, it is going to be Seth Wanzing, Ospinel, Bren Roberts, Cody Pinnell. Obviously came Cody Pinnell, James Kerr, Briley Wright, Tommy Withers, Alfred George, David Wright, and obviously Cody Riggs, who is leaving the pit lane as we speak, as his car is actually nice repaired. Still had a fast repair in the tank. But interesting strategy choice here. So what it's going to do is it's going to help some of the cars that came in under that last caution save a little bit of extra fuel. It's still a bit of an ask. As we know, 90 would definitely comfortably get the field home. And we didn't see much fuel concern per se, but we know the window's probably between 30 and 40 laps. Big range. That's where estimations put it. But at least with the cars pitting, they feel either comfortable that they can there'll be another caution, they can save it, or they want to run with fresh tires to get to that next pit stop window and try to be on the attack more than on the defense, as we know some of these cars will struggle for getting into that window. But with only the window so close away, it feels kind of odd to pit here at the moment because the window opens, we know, comfortably at 90. But obviously, if you want fresh tires, you may want to stretch it a little bit longer. So it'll be just see how it all plays out here at the moment. So we're going to have choose this time by Gaiman. When we came back from stage 2 caution, well, he was on the outside because, yeah, he came out, he chose the inside. And now leading again, he chose the outside under the last caution. So now it's anyone's guess where he'll elect to pick here. He's tried both lanes. Now he's going to try to probably pick where he feels comfortable. It looks like Gaiman gonna go to the high line here. Featherplate's gonna go low. So while we get this shaken out here, see the rest of the cars elect to take their choose. You'll see here as we see them all finish up here, it's gonna be Gaiman and Featherplate's row 1, with Estes and LaJoy row 2. And then I'm assuming we're just going to keep going down. So Kruger and Feemster. Yeah, we're waiting for Fed Place to kind of jump up here. Then Reynolds and Leiter and Sears and Marshall. Give or take, that is roughly what we're looking at here. Actually, Sears and Leiter. And then, yeah, regardless, that is going to be what you're looking at here. In the first 2 rows are going to be Gaiman in Fair Place, Estes and Kruger, Estes and LaJoy, your first 2 rows here. As Pacer is going to take left here coming off this last corner. And we're going to be rolling again.
Green flag in the air with 40 laps to go.
Mm-hmm. Good launch by Gaiman. Leiter and Estes fighting hard for third. I mean, not Leiter. LaJoy and Estes fighting hard for third. Oh, is this spin in the back? That's Reynolds and Leiter.
That was who you were talking about right there. Leiter and Reynolds.
Yep.
And that car is completely torn up.
Mm-hmm. No front fender. So far, not a good day for the points leader. Obviously, the 7, you can see the 83 there. He's going to have to pit here for emergency service. And there's the 7 again, not looking horrible. But right now, points leader, hoping for a better day here at Gateway. Take a look at the replay here. Ooh. Kind of Leiter comes up just a tad. Big lick on the inside wall there. Leiter kind of just screwed up the track a little bit. Just touched Reynolds. And sent Reynolds, both of them, to the inside wall there. As you finish up with the replay there, we'll take one more look onboard perspective here. We'll follow the 7 again at Tommy Reynolds. You can just see not really knowing, and just ends up hitting the inside wall hard driver's side. But luckily, doesn't hit it fender, doesn't hit with the engine. So car's probably pretty much unscathed, but definitely a wild ride for him. Now we'll ride on board with Matthew Leiter in the 83. He just touches, yep, just does drift up a little bit right in the Reynolds, and he gets the worst lick of it. As you can see, that 83 ends up some good damage. As you can see, Reynolds is one of the few drivers elected to pit under that last caution, including Edward Marshall, Tommy Withers, and obviously Matthew Leiter with the damage, but long pit stop with him as he does not have a faster hair. Probably left back in the tank here. They may be raced on for that 83. So we'll take a quick moment here to kind of recycle the field here. The top 6 have last pitted on lap 62. Tom Sears, first car to pit on lap 73. Ryan Pinnell also pitted on 62. He's currently in 8th position. And the rest of the field behind all pitted on 77. Austin Pinnell 9th on back. So a mixing of strategies here at the moment. And with these caution laps ticking off, it's allowing the cars that pitted, they'll have better tire wear just because they're not burning them as much, but also they'll get more comfortable fuel mileage here and be able to more comfortably get closer to the window they need to get to. What also makes me wonder as well is with the top 6, including Ryan Pinnell, not elected to make their final pit stop yet. It makes me wonder per se if they have not gotten to the window they think they're comfortable yet. But if they don't think they're in the window, then why do other cars elect to blink? Probably for fresh tires, but it's an interesting strategy choice at the moment. With these cautions, maybe not electing to come in, but obviously the track position may be king. So we're going to come up to the choose here. See how they all elect to kind of choose out here. We see Tobias says, well, I can see from my perspective, going to go high, feather place low, game in high. So front row, similar to the past previously 3 restarts, with Gaiman on that high groove, feather place on that low groove, and Estes on that high groove as well.
Twenty cars still on track and running at the moment. And all of them on the lead lap. They're all on the left side of your screen. Coming to 35 laps to go. Game in feather place. Leading us to green. We're back underway here at St. Louis.
The place does not get his going here. He's, as the previous 2 restarts, still going to keep second position, but could be under clutches here from the 29. And we're going to have a caution here with an incident in the back. Tommy Withers involved, Brendan Roberts. And you can see right there, Brendan Roberts is a little bit up the rope, but the 16 of Edward Marshall also involved as well. Very odd, but cautions breed cautions, and we've had a couple on these restarts. We'll take a look at the replay here. See exactly what unfolded here.
Oh, Ellis George pushed Roberts to the corner.
And that Edward Marshall backs down, tries to save it, and he actually, minor contact. So one incident causing another problem there.
You can see Ellis George. We'll see if we can focus on that 22. Kind of sends it in a little bit deep.
Yeah, shoves the 1 to the 3, and the 3 just trying to end up saving it. So 8th caution of the night. Twenty cars still running, no retirements through that incident. Tommy Withers going to come on in. Only car going to elect to pit here. Again, all these caution lamps here, it's allowing cars that need to save it, save the fuel they need. And it's extending the window. What I find kind of interesting at the moment is there's a 20 lap difference between Josh Gaiman, who pitted on lap 62, and Tommy Reynolds, who came in under not this caution, but the previous one at 82. So 20 lap difference. But the base one is these laps tick by. Maybe that 61 and co of the cars that have not pitted yet, maybe comfortable, maybe within the window they need to get in, because we're coming up to where we know that 30 lap buffer would have been safe. And you would think that if they were going to pit, they would have pitted by now. So makes me wonder, with these cautions, these prolonged cautions, the 61, 34, the 29, the 88, the 70, the 21, and the 12 are all good to go to the end here.
With all these caution laps, maybe. Or maybe it's one of those things where maybe they're anticipating that no one can make it at this point with it still being 30 to go.
But the stages were 30 laps, and they all made it comfortably at 30. So that's my thought. Yeah. Because you think they would have came in under this last caution, 87 to 88. You only have to save a lap, possibly. So the only downside, though, is with these laps ticking by, the tire is going to get older and older and older, and they will have a disadvantage some of the cars around them, including Sears, who pitted on 73, and ninth on back that pitted at 77 and 76 or later for their stops. Choosing effect here. Gaiman going to go low. Kind of keeps us on our toes here. He keeps going low and high. Feather Place going to go high. Estes going to stay in the high groove like he's done most of these restarts. And Mike LaJoy going to slot in behind. So your first three rows are going to be Gaiman, Feather Place, LaJoy, Estes, Feemster, Kruger, with Pinnell and Sears finishing it out there. And Kerr and James Kerr and Austin Pinnell. I haven't said much about James Kerr. Sneakily having a good run here. Top 10 at the moment in that 75. Looking to bring some good points home for Black Acid Racing to follow suit with Mike LaJoy in that 88. But obviously, still a little bit of ways away from pay dirt to finish this, so things can obviously shake up here. 20 cars on the racing surface still. 20 cars on the lead lap. 3 cars behind the wall. Matthew Leiter, Matthew Kent, and Jeremy Breo. When we come to the line here, we are going to be at 30 to go. Pace are going to take the hard left.
Green flag will be in the air here at the restart zone. And a way better restart between Feather Place and Gaiman.
Yeah, Feather Place is not going to allow the 61 to cook him there. He's going to be side by side in the 1. It even showed further back. See Mike LaJoy trying to challenge for 3rd. And Feather Place is going to get it done. He's going to take the lead.
And the thing is, Feather Place has had a better long-run car than Gaiman. We saw that in Stage 2. Now that Feather Place has had a Gaiman now on the short run, how much more difficult it's going to be for Gaiman to get back around? As Feather Place just at the fastest Sector 2 time, the fastest second half of the lap, belongs to Feather Place.
Mm-hmm. We know Feather Place very hungry for a win here. He looks at his compadres around him and realizes he's kind of in that top half echelon. It's one of the few drivers who had a win, and he probably feel a lot more comfortable with a win, especially if playoffs roll around and more drivers keep winning. But even when we look through this kind of top half of the field, drivers without wins yet. You got Emma Kruger currently in 4th position. You got Mike LaJoy and Tom Sears, 5th and 6th. Sears, alternate strategy, slightly fresh rubber. Gaiman, though, looks like he's about to lay the bumper to 34. To the finish point, Austin Pinnell, Kevin Feemster, Seth Wanzing, Ryan Pinnell, all in the top 10 without wins, looking to capitalize if something happens. Gaiman, though, is getting the runs he needs, going to put a bumper to the 34 there, just a little bit. Not enough to move him, to let them know he's there.
Needs to have walked
James
away
had
from
a slight-
Toby Estes.
Mm-hmm. It's now Toby S. under pressure for Emma Kruger there. On a bit of a commentator's curse, something happened to James Kerr on that back straight, now down the 20th position. I personally say don't sleep on Tom Sears or Austin Pinnell, both on fresher tires in the cars ahead. they could save their rubber and get me through this traffic quickly, they could be a threat here as fall off will occur. Gaiman getting the runs he needs to the middle of the corner, but just cannot get close enough to really stick it. Look at that, almost on the rumble strip there, just trying to get that car low enough. .24 to go. Bren Roberts has had a slight mistake. He is kind of slow off into one. But will stay green.
A very less battle at the top of the field. Better place. Just trying. Has to really just survive the onslaught here.
He's kind of in a good spot. It's kind of a weird fortune because right now Featherplay is trying to force Gaiman to burn his stuff up to stay close. But if he backs off too much, he may allow Gaiman to go. But in the same flip of the coin, Gaiman pushing Featherplay to his point to try to burn his stuff up. They're both trying to force the other driver into a mistake. With no real pressure from behind, Estes 1.5 back of Featherplace and about 1.25 seconds away from Gaiman. And even then, Estes has focused on his own battles with the train form behind him. So, at the moment, this top two is what's going to probably decide the winner, unless this second pack here can get kind of closed up.
Even on that 70 of Emma Kruger looking for her first podium in the Ace for Cup Series. Trying to chase down last week's race winner.
Tom Sears there trying to get around LaJoy. Tommy Reynolds back in the top 10 as we look through the pylon there. Trying to make a move on Feemster in 9th. Kruger again knocking on the door there, just losing a little bit of touch distance there. Right now, Gaiman back on the bumper of the 34. That time by faster. Gaiman's getting the runs he needs here. Oh, Purnell on the wall there. And Gaiman making a move for the lead. As you know, he's pitting. My mistake. He is pitting.
I thought they couldn't make it. I was pretty sure they would not be able to make it. 40 laps was pushing it.
Gaiman coming on in. Gets the car woed down. So Featherplay staying out. Gaiman going for the undercut. Well, that kind of shows that we know for a fact we know Featherplace and anyone in that top pack right now of Featherplace, Estes, Kruger, LaJoy cannot make it to the end if Gaiman has to blink, unless Gaiman had to come in for service. With no other drivers blinking yet, it makes you wonder. He's either going for a big undercut. He hit the window in like road course style. As soon as you hit the window, you come on in. Or something, but he will be a lap down now, so he's got to hope a caution doesn't come out. He will be the only car one down, though, so, well, in the lucky dog position, so he will be in contention to get his lap back. So there's still that risk reward. But right now, kind of have to hope he doesn't come out in major traffic, which he's going to come out in not a good spot. He's going to be in the middle of that big pack there, so he's not going to have clean air and clean room to really fight his way through to set pole lap times. So even though he'll have the advantage on tires, he's going to have to carve his way through a big pack of drivers. As right now, he is currently fighting Feemster, who's in 9th position, just to show you how far buried he is.
And Feather Plate's hoping he can stay out as long as possible here.
It's a risky strategy.
I mean, he's banking right now that he's going to be able to be faster than game, and his game has to deal with traffic, and it's an interesting bet to take. Feather Plate's last lap across the line was a 35.1. Gaiman coming across the line
34.6.
34.64. I would probably start making my way inwards right about now.
Yeah, even with the trap, he's carved through it like a hot knife through butter. He's already up to Tom Sears in 5th. In a lap and a half, he's up basically going to be clean air here in about a lap time. But no sign of blink. Unless, this is a situation, unless they really think they can make it or they're banking on a caution. But if Gaiman can get the Feather Plates before he pits, Gaiman's inheriting this lead. Easily. Yep, Gaiman up the second there.
Yeah.
And one car sets between him and getting his lap back at the moment. So around 14 to go here. And you're just going to see that 61 noon by. At this point, it honestly makes me wonder if they're not pitting. Because why stay out this long and give the lap back to 61 and not pit?
I don't know. This is very interesting.
And also, no other car in that top pack I pitted as well. Only Joshua Gaiman pitted. Like, none of the other cars at 62 pitted. Feather Place, Estes, Kruger, Ryan Pinnell, and Kevin Feemster all stayed out since 62, and neither one blinked. He was the only one to come in. So, oh, you can see how aggressive he's just trying to get around that E3 there. Just knowing, trying to do something. It's a head scratcher.
And we're going to find out in a few laps what that's going to mean. At the front of the field, Kruger's still behind Mike LaJoy as she's falling back a spot. Sears and Wanzing, you see them side by side. That's for top 5 honors.
And Wanzing pitted on 77, Sears on 73, so...
we know that they're good.
Yeah. LaJoy up the second. Estes falls down the third. And the one thing that's going to help right now is these cars fighting all on 62 here. Estes going to get second back here from LaJoy. Look in the chat. Haley poses a good question. Haley Deadly asks, we'll have a green white checkered or not. Right now, I don't think we're on pace to get one. We've seen these runs happen at the end of stage 1 and stage 2. I think we're good to go for green white checkers. But right now, drive that's hoping we get one. That's 61 a game.
Yeah,
and we can get bunched
really
back up.
hoping.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to get one. I think...
oh, Kruger way up the racing surface
Kruger
there.
losing a lot of handling on that number 70, falling backwards. Still sitting top 5 at the moment. But pressure definitely getting the number 70 as everyone tries to work around. That's the 83, a lighter that everyone's trying to work around, who's just gone another lap down.
One positive there is fuel concerns that or tire wear fall off. At the very least, Feather Place has a good cushion. The car in second, so you can afford not to push super hard.
Better Place has a 2-second advantage over LaJoy, with Estes dropping to third. I wonder if Estes may be trying to save a little bit of fuel, because all 3 of these drivers we're on that lap 62 pit stop cycle.
Correct. And it should be worth noting, even though a fall there, a 36.01 for Feather Place, 2 seconds slower than his best. Obviously, tire wear coming into that consideration, but also maybe a bit of fuel saving.
Of those that we know are safe, the first one is Wanzing.
Mm-hmm. And then even Steph Wanzing not setting the house on fire with his times. 36.25 for him. Meanwhile, Gaiman going to get around for 19th position here, going to pass Alfred's George. He's already made about half a track, but no contention to go any farther.
Looking to see. We're not hearing any cutoff on the throttle with the Vestas, so I don't think he's trying to clutch and coast here.
No.
I don't think it's that dire. You see Wanzing there, the inside. That 9 car looking for a podium, working on that 29. Fresh tires by about 15 laps.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to have enough time to get to Feather Place, but...
Nope. He needs a caution as well. Tommy Reynolds, a car that pitted on... That's if a caution comes out, another driver will benefit. Tommy Reynolds pitted on 82. We definitely know he's good. He's got the freshest rubber in the field, and he is up to 6th position. Knock on the door for a top 5. Could easily steal it here, at least a top 5. Maybe more if he can really get the thunder down. LaJoy is... Oh, at Feather Place. It's down to a second now between LaJoy and Feather Place. Time is falling quickly for that 34 there. I think he made a slight mistake. Check. I think he made a slight mistake there. No, it was normal sailing. He just lost pace there drastically. It's 5 to go, coming to 4.
This is nowhere near over, I don't think, with 4 laps to go. Feemster comes in.
Yeah, and Feemster pit on 62.
If the mileage is there, it's very close. It is extremely close.
Yeah, because Gaiman and Feemster, City Lap 62 both came in. 4 holdouts. And you're looking at 1, 2, 4. Reynolds fighting Estes. Estes really dropping times too. 3 to go. If they cannot make it, it could fall to possibly LaJoy. But if we're looking at drivers we know can make it, it's Wanzing and Reynolds.
Yeah, Wanzing, Reynolds, and Tom Sears would be the 3 that we know firmly can make it. But at this point, you're coming to 2 laps to go. You're committed at this point.
Yeah,
if you run out, you run out.
Mm-hmm.
Feather Place with a little over a second in hand. The thing is, they're running a safe enough pace that Wanzing's not an immediate threat to this.
No.
But Feather Place is coasting in. He's not clutching, but he is coasting in to 1 and 2.
LaJoy not coasting as much there, was able to gain a couple tenths. At this point, he has to go, because I feel like LaJoy is going to attack him if he doesn't. If he's coasting now, LaJoy, I think, may have hit his number. So 1 to go. You kind of just have to go full throttle here at the moment. But white flag lap. Will they make it home? Gap's half a second between the 34 and the 88. It's now down to 3 tenths.
It is very close. It is now less than a second and a half between the top 3. Feather Place has 1 career win, and that was at Watkins Glen last year. He was not a contender for the championship. Running full-time in 2023, he's got 2 corners to go. LaJoy's lost a lot of gap here. Out of 3 and 4 for the final time in St. Louis. Feather Place rounds for home. Brandon Feather Place wins at Gateway.
And he'll get the job done. Be interesting to see how much fuel he has left. LaJoy second, Wanzing third, Kruger fourth, David Wright round your top 5 here. So they all kind of come across and finish it out. But very chaotic.
Brandon Fetterplace, make him a 2-time race winner in the A-Square Cup Series.
It raises even another question here, is we know what caused Gaiman to pit along with Themester. They didn't have the fuel economy, but yet the car's top did. So it's very interesting to see. We'll see from race interviews if we can get the top 3 in here of Fetterplace, LaJoy, and Wanzing. But a lot of questions here to kind of dissect. As Team Boss is going to join Fetterplace here for a little celebratory burning it down, or at the very least.
Tonight was a good night for Line Power.
First win this season, so far this season, and a good finish points for those Line Power machines. Only kind of weak link was Edward Marshall, and even then he got the pole position. Regardless, though, you can see he's got enough fuel to burn it down.
See Mike LaJoy sitting off to the side.
Mm-hmm.
Career best finish for him. Brandon Fetterplace, though.
Oh, yeah. Clearly got enough. I think he's rubbing it in our faces now. Just showing, and there it finally goes.
Yeah, there you go. Brandon Fetterplace, race winner here at Gateway, and now in to the A-Square Cup Series playoffs.
Yep.
Phenomenal stuff there for Brandon Fetterplace. He is the 10th different winner in the ARCS A-Square Cup Series. The 9th that's eligible for playoff contention. Aiden Norman, part-time deal for him. Not eligible for the A-Square Cup Series playoffs. So we know now 9 of those contenders for the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal job by Brandon Fetterplace to get that race win. We wondered when it was going to be coming. And here it is. We'll talk to the race winner right here in just a second. Brandon Fetterplace now in the playoffs. Closing down that championship lead even more.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon, this is Carmen from the ABM booth. Get a copy.
Hell yeah, dude. How's it going?
Pretty good. What a race to win at. Obviously, a very intense final stage there, but a really good car all throughout that Line Power 34. It's been one of the class of the field cars all season long. You were second entering this race, didn't have a race win, and that changes now. 10th different winner in the A-Square Cup Series. How was it feeling, and how was that last stage? Were you having to manage fuel? Like, what was that situation like for you?
First off, my heart's getting ready to beat out of my chest. Been trying for so long to finally get one of these things, and I finally did. Oh man, this is awesome. But yeah, dude, I was saving like crazy. I mean, I had Tom and Marshall and Emma and everybody in my ear telling me, clutch, you have room, clutch, save, and I am terrible on fuel. But oh man, I don't know how I made it.
You did a phenomenal job tonight. It was a wild race there for a driver, and obviously we know you can do it on ovals. You won in Formula Atlantics earlier this year in the ABN side of things. We know you can race. You can win races. You won Watkins Glen last year. Now you know for a fact you are contending for a championship in 2023. How does that feel as far as getting that weight off your shoulders, knowing that you're now just lining up bonus points between now and August?
It is amazing. I mean, we have what has to be the toughest field ever here in A Squared. I mean, all of them, everyone here is just so fast. And every week the way that it was looking, it was like, we're going to keep getting these first time winners, or maybe Reynolds is going to run away with another one, so it was like, I was starting to get a little worried because, I've got good points, but you get, like you said, if you get 16 different winners, I'm not in the playoffs. So, I did everything that I could, and man, this is awesome.
You did a phenomenal job tonight, and a really good night for Lion Power all around. You talked about the teamwork that everyone was kind of instilling you, like, hey, you've got this, you've got this, you've got this. The entire team had this pretty well. Emma finished in the top 4. Sears finished 7th. Overall, a really good night. Edward Marshall, obviously newest teammate on the block, had a decent recovery at 13th, but started on pole position, had the pace from the get-go. How important was the team tonight as far as helping you kind of get to that point? And obviously, going forward, how do you expect these next couple races to go? It's going to be a wider variety of events here as we have more road courses on the schedule.
It was phenomenal teamwork. I mean, from the beginning of this week, we've done the practice, we've done the note sharing. Emma showed up and showed out today. She did fantastic. Tom, he was really fast tonight. I think he got caught up in some stuff in the back. And Marshall, I mean, you've seen how fast Marshall is. I know how fast Marshall is. So, I'm expecting great things. I think we've showed up, and it's time. We're going to start making a charge. So I think everybody needs to take note.
I think everyone is taking note here. Obviously, phenomenal race tonight. You outsaved Josh Gaiman on fuel economy, and you did everything you needed to tonight to win here at Gateway. A phenomenal performance for the number 34. You're a 2-time race winner now in the Ace for a Cup Series, and you've got playoffs written with your name on it in August. Before I let you go and let you celebrate with your team, if there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congratulations, Brandon. Race winner here in 2023 in the Ace for a Cup Series. You earned it.
Oh, man. Oh, thank you so much. I'm trying to gather my thoughts here. Thanks, obviously, to Ghost Energy for being on the team or on the car. Thanks to Line Power. Everyone in Line Power. Emma, Tom, Marshall. I couldn't do it without them. And thanks to y'all for the great broadcast. And thanks for everybody for watching. I hope y'all had a great time watching because it was super exciting behind the wheel. So I hope you had just as much fun.
Well, Brandon, we'll let you celebrate with your team here. Did a phenomenal job. Race winner tonight. Most laps led tonight as well. That number 34 machine at the front of the field. So enjoy the race win, and we'll be seeing you next week.
Thank you so much.
That was Brandon Fetterplace, race winner here tonight in Gateway, just off the Mississippi River across from St. Louis. A phenomenal job for him. We'll hear next from Mike LaJoy and then Seth Wanzing, the rest of the podium finishers tonight. We'll talk to Mike LaJoy here coming up next. First podium in Ace for Cup Series for the 88 for Black Acid Racing. Mike LaJoy, this is Carmen from the ABM booth. You got a copy?
Hey, I got you.
What a drive. Phenomenal performance. First career podium in the A Square Cup Series. And it was a fuel mileage event. How close were you on fuel there? And obviously, what was the concern there going through stage 3 as far as keeping not only Seth Wanzing behind you, but holding on to that podium?
Oh, yeah. I was out of fuel going into 3 after the checker. So, I had a half a lap of fuel left at the end there. We talked about it as a team at that last caution, whether or not, or actually the last 2 cautions, whether or not we should go in and take fuel, as a fuel mileage type of thing, and when we should take tires. And I said, you know what, I'll stay out. Maybe if you guys go in, I'll stay out. We'll hedge it. And we just got enough cautions that I was able to just save enough under the other cautions, clutching around, and just made it by a half a lap. I was saying for the last 5 or 10 laps that if I had a few more, I kind of flew by Toby. I don't know if he was running out of tire or what. And then I felt like if I had maybe 5 more laps, I could have caught Fetter Place. And then in the waiting room, Seth was saying the same thing to me. He was thinking if he had 5 more laps, he could have caught me. So it would have been close with 5 more laps to it.
It was a wild race because the ebb and flow, especially in those last 10 laps, was insane. Obviously, you closed into less than a half a second to Fetter Place. Wansing started on a crazy charge trying to get to both of you and to put both of you within a second and a half of each other at the end there. You know, you look at how this race sort of played out. Obviously, you're a little bit newer to the series as a whole. You've obviously been in ARCS for a while, but now A Squared is different than what it was when you were doing part-time races last season. How different has it been for you? And obviously working with Black Acid Racing, how has it been adjusting to that team and really trying to put yourself into a position to possibly win a race and possibly contend for a championship later this year?
Yeah, you know, a lot of it's just been learning who I'm racing around, and you know, who to maybe give a little more room to, or who is fast on new tires, and who is better at saving, and you know, like who to let go at what times. And my strategy for a lot of this race was, if I saw people kind of dive bombing it into 1 and 3, I was just letting those people go and hoping that, you know, I could save some tire and pass them later on. And you know, as I get more races under my belt, I think I'll learn who the right people to let go is, and you know, who to maybe try to keep behind me. And then kind of as we got down the stretch there, I kind of gave up on that, and I was just trying to keep everybody behind me. So that kind of ended up working out. Just trying to keep my car clean early, you know, and then kind of make it wide towards the end.
It worked out phenomenally tonight. Again, first career podium in the A Squared Cup Series for you, and a phenomenal result for Black Acid Racing. Obviously, just a crazy race all around here at Gateway. You know, before we let you go, obviously, it would be remiss here. Obviously, you're a little bit new here, but you're coming in a lot of difficult tracks coming up: Sonoma, Nashville, Chicago. Then you have Atlanta, which is going to be an interesting little pack race affair to cap off this next month. What do those races kind of speak out to you as far as races that, you know, you could possibly build on this momentum and to make more of a fight for that race win?
Yeah, I was just saying to the guys that maybe this isn't the best string of tracks for me to join. I felt I was pretty strong at Charlotte, and I was pretty strong here, but road racing not really my thing. So Sonoma and the street course are tough ones. You know, Atlanta now. Old Atlanta was one of my best tracks, and now New Atlanta is, you know, kind of a crapshoot being a super speedway. So I'm probably realistically looking at like Nashville, New Hampshire, Michigan as like my big targets, and the rest I'm just gonna try to accumulate some points for the team here.
Well, you accumulated a lot of points tonight for Black Acid Racing, and just one step away from getting your first win in the A Squared Cup Series. Before I let you go and kind of let you unwind and relax tonight, if there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, Mike, the floor is yours. Congratulations, P2 tonight here at Gateway, and hopefully the first of several podiums this year in A Squared.
Just a quick shout out to the league. You know, ARCS is great. They run so many nights. It's so well organized. It's a great place to race. So shout out to the admins for putting that together. Big thanks to Kerr for picking me up with Black Acid so I can run on Sunday nights in A Squared here. And then a shout out to the guys over at OG Racing too. You know, Brian Rupert and those guys. They're, you know, big friends of the ARCS channel, but also the guys that kind of got me going in the leagues when I first joined iRacing. So those guys hold a special place with me. So big shout out for them too.
Well, Mike, again, congratulations. First podium in A Squared Cup Series, second place tonight, and a phenomenal show to go with it. So congratulations on that podium, and obviously we'll be seeing you next week at Sonoma.
Sounds good. Thanks, buddy.
That was Mike LaJoy, second place finisher here tonight. We got one more interview coming up, and it's third place finisher Seth Wansing, finally back on the podium. We'll hear what he has to say here for Sunday Money Racing. Seth, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. Get a copy.
Hey, Carmen, I got you.
What a race. What a drive. Podium for the first time in what feels like ages. You've got something for these weird little in-between tracks. You won at Nashville last season, obviously, and you get a podium here tonight at Gateway. Phenomenal effort. Kind of walk through that final run. Obviously, fuel saving was the name of the game, and you looked like you had a lot of pace later in that stint. Walk us through it.
Yeah, me and my team, Sunday Money, all credit to them. We, 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 you know, we pitted and we're about 10 laps to good on fuel. Like the second caution that came, there was that first caution where Tom and a couple other people pitted that opened that window, and that second one that the window was definitely open. We pitted, just took fuel. Man, Carmen, I just wish I would have kept my track position. I messed up, overbroke a corner, walled myself, and kind of jumbled up my track position pretty bad, and had to claw my way back to the top 10 in stage 2 because stage 1 was a wash because I had to fix the damage. And stage 3 slowly made my way back up there, and had an incredible car. I really think I had the long run pace to run right where we finished and maybe even win. I just needed 5 more laps. I was watching lap times on my overlay, was a tenth or two better than both LaJoy and Brandon there. But shout out to both of them. Shout out to Brandon for his first win of the year. Shout out to Mike LaJoy, a new driver. He was on my Xfinity team, and great deserving finish for him. Now he's full-time in A2. But nice to have a nice, clean race, Carmen. Had a lot of technical difficulties that have taken away really good runs and changed us to win. But got the PC all fixed up, and hopefully, man, it just gets harder and harder to win these races in this league. And hopefully this number 9 Midwest Barbecue 213 Similar Chevy and can catch a win here soon. Definitely Mr. Consistency, though, this year is the name of my game this year. Just clicking away top 3s and 5s.
Obviously, that was a really good point. The last couple of weeks have not gone the way you've wanted to. Obviously, you've had the pace, but the technical issues have kind of have plagued you. You've kind of inherited the lightning rod that Ryan Pinnell's had the last couple of years. How important was a night like tonight compared to the last couple of races? Obviously, you got taken out of contention there from Charlotte by no fault of your own, and just the poor luck that's really kind of plagued the month of May for you. How important was a night like tonight?
It was really important just to rebound, and I told my teammates just to finish where I was running and to finish the race and finish where we deserve and be in contention there is like I was earlier in the season, and just to see that without technical issues, that it's still there was a very good confidence boost. I really want Kansas and Charlotte back. I feel like I had the pace to win both those races, and just there was some sort of error code in my PC, no internet or anything like the bad luck Ryan had. Just a little bug that me and my PC guy figured out, and we're gonna keep on rolling from there and see if we can't just stay like we were and go get a win. But yeah, Carmen, the biggest thing is just seeing that I can come back and do that again, and knowing that that's not lost.
Going to be a very difficult run of races coming up here. Obviously, we have Sonoma coming up next week, and then Darlington, Nashville, Chicago, and then Atlanta, the next 5 races. It's all about consistency. You said consistency was the name of the game for you this season. Those 5 races, it's a wide gauntlet, but Nashville's on that list. How do you see this summer going for you? Do you think you can possibly break into that win column again with a couple of tracks I think right down your alley with obviously Atlanta, a place you almost won at last year, and then obviously Nashville and Darlington coming up? Are those 3 tracks heavy on your list of races to try to win at this year?
Yeah, Nashville's really heavy. Gonna go back and try to defend that, and Gateway was on there as well. I led a ton of laps here last year and just had a late race caution, kind of give guys a shot at my rear bumper. So, but Darlington's on that list as well. Sonoma, just try to get through with the top 5. I think this team's capable of that. And but we'll see, man. Or Carmen, I'm so ready to get into this summer stretch and really try to lock in and get a win. It's a grind, and as you can see tonight, there's so many good guys in here and girls, and they all run so quick throughout, and the race pace. Everything, because people can keep the tires on it, and just you have to fight and claw for every spot. So super excited where the league's going, and yeah, super excited for the summer months. Going to try to get hot like Tony Stewart used to.
Absolutely, that's a good comparison for it. Trying to get hot in the summer, Tony Stewart was really big on that. You're almost Kevin Harvick with how quick your close on the top 2 tonight. So phenomenal job on that. P3 tonight, a really good run for Sunday Money Racing, a really good night for Sunday Money Racing as a whole. But before we let you go and kind of let you regroup and regather and get ready for next week, if there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, Seth, the floor is yours. Congratulations, another podium here, P3 here at Gateway.
You got me, Carmen. Sorry, I lost you.
No, you're good. I would just kind of letting you kind of take the floor if you had anyone to shout out and say thank you to obviously P3 here at Gateway tonight, and a very important month of June and July coming up ahead. If there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, Seth, the floor is yours.
Yeah, shout out to my Sunday Money team. Cody, Bryn, and Daniel was gone, and John Honeybrink. Excited to see what John brings to the table now in the part-time role. Shout out to Midwest Barbecue, 213 Simware for being on board, and shout out to you and Kevin, Carmen for calling great races. I always can't wait to go back and watch these races on your stream. Shout out to all the fellow admins in A Squared and in ARCS, Ryan, Toby. Everybody knows the list there, and just being able to do what we love to do here on a weekly basis. So, just really appreciated to be back on track, and we'll get to going left and right next week.
You did a phenomenal job tonight, Seth. Congratulations on a well-earned P3 and a good job for the team tonight. All 3 of your cars tonight in the top 10. Robert's in 9th, Cody Pennell in 8th place. Congratulations, Seth. And obviously next week, Sonoma, we get to go road course racing, so we'll be seeing you there.
Thank you, Carmen. Thank you, Kevin. Hope you guys enjoyed the show.
Absolutely. Congratulations, Seth. Enjoy it, and good luck next week.
Thank you.
That was Seth Wansing, 3rd place finisher tonight. A phenomenal run by him for the Sunday Money Racing crew on the podium here this evening. Here's what the results looked like here at St. Louis. Brandon Feder plays atop the board with Mike LaJoy in 2nd, Seth Wansing sitting in 3rd. And McCruger sitting in 4th ahead of David Wright. They rounded out the top 5. Tommy Reynolds, Tom Sears, Cody Pennell, Toby Estes, and Bradley Wright sitting in the top 10. Just a phenomenal run there. Looks like Brendan Roberts may have lost a little bit there at the end of the race. Did not see it on the timing screen at first, but he may have actually ended up finishing outside the top 10. But still,
He finished 15th.
yeah, he finished 15th, but he was top 10 for most of the race. I guess he had a little bit of a slight issue there at the end. Austin Purnell, Ryan Pennell, Edward Marshall, the pole sitter, finishing in 13th. Josh Gaiman, who had to come down pit lane, recovered to 14th place, was a lap down with less than 15 laps to go. Ben Roberts, as I mentioned, down in 15th place. James Kerr, Tommy Withers, Cody Riggs sitting in the top 18. All of them on the lead lap. 20 cars in total on the lead lap. Not a bad run at all. Elris George, 19th. Kevin Feemster, 20th. With just one lap down, a lap down at the final stanza there. Matt Leiter was running at the finish, was the last car running. Finished 21st. Matthew Kent, 73 laps down, had a technical issue and then compounded it with a crash out of turn 2. And Jeremy Breo with another technical failure as well for him. Not a way he wanted to come back. 79 laps from the finish is where he ended up in this field of 23. It doesn't get any less busy for us here on ABN. Tomorrow night, the HTL Cup Series season finale at Auto Club Speedway. Me and Christina Ryan will be in the booth for that race. You're not going to miss it. Qualifying begins 8 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow night. Tuesday, Formula Atlantic from right here in Gateway. Double dose of Gateway and a double dose of Fontana Wednesday night. It's the ABN Ammonbox Cup Series, race 4 of 16 at Auto Club Speedway. So we're doing a lot of cross-country trekking from California to the Midwest. And then Thursday is Chicago for the ABN Champ Car World Series. And then Twiggy iRacing Series on Friday kicks off another weekend of action. But that's going to do it from us here at Gateway. A wild night of racing, 7 cautions, but a phenomenal race we had tonight. We hope you all had a lot of fun, and thank you all for joining us for this evening of racing. No matter where you are in the world, no matter how hot, how cold it is, we appreciate you taking your time with us here on ABN. On behalf of everyone here for ARCS, for Darkside Mustangs, Windy Chevrolet, and Midwest Barbecue, and everyone here for ABN Studios, Michael Commentator, Kevin Young, and our partners here for ABN. I'm Carmen Sienna. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, have some fun out there this week if we don't see you tomorrow night. But until next time, so long, everybody.